So hi everyone. Welcome to a new Teach Me Live webinar, a show where we are trying to teach all the social media professional everything about social media and to show them examples from real life agencies. Today I have with me Malin Holt, head of TikTok at Capo, an international social media agency. Malin launched brands like Red Bull and Domino's Pizza on TikTok in Denmark, and now she's working with global accounts such as Olaplex and Essence Cosmetics. So, Malin, welcome.
Thank you.
Um,
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah. You can.
So I can just do a short introduction to myself. As Dina said, my name is Melina, and I've been working with TikTok basically since COVID started. And as we all know, that's probably also where it started booming for real. So I worked at another agency back then with Instagram and Facebook. And I had Domino's Pizza as a client, and they asked us if we could do TikTok. And I said, sure, let's do it. And first video we put out went viral, and we actually got over 5,000 followers that day. So we started sharing the results on LinkedIn, and more companies took interest in TikTok and the platform. So we got on Red Bull, Soundbox, other big Danish brands. Also, Red Bull actually became the biggest business brand or business profile in Denmark just within 3 months, where we got over 50K followers. So it was a really fast growth. Then I came to Copco, where I work now as head of TikTok. And we're a bit more of an international social media agency. So we both have some Danish and Nordic clients, but we also have some more international clients in both Europe, UK, and the US. So now we also have the opportunity to work with some bigger profiles, as Adita mentioned, Olaplex and Essence Cosmetics. And we also have an office in New York and opening in London soon. So yeah, that was just quickly about me and my work.
Thank you so much. So yeah, the theme for today is TikTok strategy for B2B. So I'm going to ask Malin some questions about how to use TikTok for B2B marketing. And also I'm inviting you to share your thoughts and ask Malin questions about TikTok via by commenting to LinkedIn or to Facebook or on Twitter. We are live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. And you can come and say hello to us, and it will take up to 30 minutes. But I think I get a mention that we are having some troubles to streaming to Facebook. Okay, so I think we are not be able to be live on Facebook. We'll be live only on LinkedIn and Twitter for this time. Great. So I have to for this webinar, I gathered some statistics, some TikTok statistics. So TikTok has over 130 million active users in USA. And 1 billion people use the app every month, which is pretty huge compared with Facebook, which has 2.9 billion users, and Instagram 1.4 billion users. 60% of TikTok users are Gen Z, and 83% of TikTok users have posted a video. So, Malin, why brands should include TikTok in their social media strategy?
Yeah. So the first thing you actually can talk about is the age group, because as you said, most of them is Gen Z, and most of those who create videos are Gen Z. But what a lot of companies don't know is that the audience is aging up pretty quickly on TikTok. And I'm not allowed to give out specific numbers from TikTok, but I can say that in Europe in general, millennials is actually a bigger target group than those who are under 18. And I think that surprises a lot of companies, because I know from my experience that a lot of them has been thinking about whether it's a too young of a target group, but it is aging up pretty fast compared to what we've seen with other social media platforms. Um, what's most attractive about TikTok right now is probably its broad organic reach. Anyone can go viral on TikTok. It doesn't matter whether you have 0 followers or 100,000 followers, because as you know, on Instagram, for example, your reach is pretty much determined based on how many followers you have. But on TikTok, the algorithm will always push out your content to random users. And if they have a high view time on your content and engage with it, well, then it's going to be pushed out to thousands of users. Um, so it's basically about creating good content if you want to go viral. And that means you can easily gain hundreds of thousands of views without putting any money into it. So it's a great platform for brand awareness and also getting this top of mind positioning. And that is both for smaller and bigger brands. And I would still say in some countries, you actually have the opportunity to become a first mover on the platform. I know here in the Nordics, it's still very few brands who has taken the step to go on TikTok. So there's still great opportunities to get this big following base, as you perhaps could with Instagram back in 2013. So it's also about utilizing these opportunities. And another thing with the reach is also that you have a great opportunity to reach an international audience. It doesn't only have to be local. So whether you choose to create local or more global content can also determine where you go viral. However, if you want to use ads, they're also really cheap. So the CPM prices are pretty low here in Europe. They're probably going to be higher in the US because it's more established, but very low cost here in Europe, which means you also have a great opportunity to target different countries if you want to. Another thing about TikTok is the engagement rate. So
Yeah.
on average, compared to other social media platforms, TikTok is actually the platform with the highest average engagement rate, which means you get a lot of likes, comments, and shares, and you will get a lot. I mean, if you've seen TikTok videos, you can easily gain like 200 comments on a video. So it's just a lot again compared to what you might experience on other platforms, and that also makes it a great platform for building a community. And it's actually really important on TikTok not to just post and ghost. I know I've seen a lot of companies who uses social media as just like a one-way form of communication where they post something and then that's fine. But that doesn't really work on TikTok. One thing is that you need to comment on your own comments, but you also actively have to go out and comment on other people's stuff. So very much engaging with your community. And TikTok, they have 2 unique features, which is called the duet and the stitch function. And the duet function is where your video will be shown just besides another video. And the stitch function is that you can take, for example, 5 seconds of the video, and then you can put your own video over it. And that's great ways of engaging with your community. So not only can you go out and duet and stitch other videos, but you can actually also create content that encourages people to duet and stitch your content. And we do that for clients, and that means suddenly you have 200 pieces of user-generated content that leads to your profile. So it's also a great way of generating traffic to your own TikTok profile. And there's no better social proof than having other people speak for you, right? And I guess the last thing is TikTok is the trendsetter. I think it's become pretty clear how powerful TikTok is in like today's culture and what we speak about. I mean, even let's take TikTok recipes. A lot of recipes go viral on TikTok, Last year, Finland was sold out of feta cheese because of a TikTok trend. Today we see a girl named Emily who makes like a salmon rice bowl, and now this is also being ripped away from all the stores. And a lot of stores are also starting to make like TikTok trending tables with, for example, books or makeup or stuff like that. So it's just really important also to look at how big of an impact it has on like the entire world and not just online. Um, and I guess the last most attractive thing about TikTok, if we have to compare it to Instagram and Facebook as well, is that the videos they live up to 90 days. So when we post something on Instagram, we often see that the post probably die after 2 days. Like it doesn't gain any more engagement. But on TikTok, the videos they live up to 90 days, so you will always gain traffic to your site. And I've experienced that after a month, one of our videos went viral and got millions of views. So the algorithm just keeps pushing the content out, which is also really attractive about TikTok.
That's great. And I think that my Instagram is full with TikTok videos. And also I know that here in Romania, while I'm listening commercial, people are pushing are saying that come and visit us on TikTok. So if last year or 2 years ago, more and more people were talking about Instagram and encouraging people to follow them on Instagram, now everyone is talking about TikTok.
Yeah.
So I guess it's here to stay.
Yeah.
So can you share some tactics for B2B brands? Because B2B brands are a little bit skeptics when it comes to new platforms. And I totally understand, because they have to prove the ROI for the actions. They have to convince their manager why they should be on this new social media platform. So how the social media managers can convince their managers to be on TikTok. Actually, I ask you two questions, but yeah, maybe you can share some tactics that B2B brands can use them and help the social media managers.
Yeah. And of course, TikTok is still very new and still developing. And it is easier for some B2B brands than others. I mean, if we work with fast moving consumer goods, it is fairly easy to be on TikTok versus if you have like a heavy B2B brand. So of course you also need to be aware of whether it's relevant or not. But I still think a lot of companies fail to see the opportunity in TikTok, and how we often convince them is actually by showing what type of content they can make. Because I think what's the hard part for people is the ideation process, understanding how to make content for TikTok. Because a lot of people, they fail by just repurposing content they have from Instagram or Twitter or Facebook, and then they just maybe throw it into a 9:16 format and put it into TikTok. But that won't work. And for TikTok, it has to be way less commercial. You have to create content specifically for TikTok. And TikTok actually doesn't see themselves as a social media platform. They see themselves as MTV back in the days. And you kind of have to treat it that way, that it's kind of like Gen Z TV. So streaming giants like Netflix also went out and said that they actually see TikTok as a competitor. And that means content has to be way more entertaining and relatable rather than commercial. So the way we actually create content for TikTok is based on specific sounds. I know a lot of people, or normally the creative process would probably be thinking about a concept, maybe recording it, and then afterwards throwing some sound on it. But TikTok works the other way around. So you will actually scroll through the For You page and you will look and notice, okay, this sound, song, or voiceover has been appearing like 5 times the past 2 minutes. Then you know, okay, it's trending. Could I use this for something? You kind of need to see the opportunities in the sounds, and then you have to make it brand relevant. And that's where it becomes difficult, is looking at TikTok trends, looking at sounds, and understanding how could I put this on my specific brand. But that's where you have to like find some funny voiceovers that can be created into a relatable situation. And in general, like relatable situations work really well. You really have to tap into the mind of the consumer, and like the whole consumer journey and what they're going through, rather than just showing the product. So it's much more about product placement rather than standing there and talking about how good of a product it is. You kind of want to create a connection with the consumer. And what we often say is like, for TikTok, if your brand was a person, who would they be? Because that's kind of how you have to be on TikTok. You have to be way more human and relatable rather than cold commercial brand, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I totally understand. But how do you plan your content for TikTok compared with other social media platforms?
Yeah. So it is difficult because TikTok is also very much what you can say trend based.
Yeah.
So we kind of work with, I would say, 3 different categories. Sorry. So there's the trend based content, which is like trends on TikTok. They changed from week to week. Then we have some more evergreen content. That could be content based on specific key holidays or events like Black Friday, Christmas, Halloween, like days we know are going to come that we can actually prepare for. And then we also work with original content. So we also work with coming up with original ideas that can also be posted whenever. So there's like these 3 different categories, and you need a bit of both, basically. But the evergreen content and the originals, you can plan ahead like you would normally with a content calendar. But the trend-based content is a bit more difficult because jumping onto TikTok trends, for them to still be relevant, you kind of need to jump on them within 2 weeks, right? But I would say with most of our clients, we produce content once a month, which also means that some of the content will be produced at the start of the month and posted at the end of the month. Then you just have to strategically maybe post the trends at first, and then you have some more evergreen holiday-based content afterwards. So we do use a monthly content calendar to align everything. Also, so we have a more strategic thinking behind what content we produce. But it is a bit more. You have to be more agile than you would on other platforms, I would say.
Okay. How much do you polish the video once you create it? Because I know that Instagram is pushing to create less to create more instant videos. And how much does it take for you and or for your team to create the content for TikTok, the videos for TikTok?
Yeah. So it's actually also something that surprises people how easy it is. Because like around 1 week before production, we would use some hours on ideating what concepts to produce. And then you would have a production day, and you can record 15 TikTok videos in one day. Like it's very easy and fast production, also because it's just we just use an iPhone, and then we have a ring light, and that's it. There's no other fancy production gear. It's very simple. So they're easy to produce, and we produce them in app mostly.
Yeah.
If you learn to use the app, it's actually way easier to produce an app. And then the editing process will also be very fast. Like the day after, you can have all your videos edited and they're ready to be posted. So it is also very cost or resource efficient process to produce TikToks.
Yeah, that's great, because I know that most of the teams are remote these days, and maybe it's more easier for them to produce in their own homes, I guess.
Yeah, and the thing is, with TikTok, it doesn't have to look fancy or polished. I mean, we don't edit our videos with anything. It's like how it looks like it would in real life, right? It has to be authentic and down to earth. So
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be high quality and fancy. I mean, use a good mobile camera. That's fine. But it doesn't have to be any fancy camera
Yeah.
equipment at all.
Yeah. So we have here questions from Anton. Do you spend a lot of time monitoring other videos to find those trend ideas and competitors' techniques?
Yeah. So TikTok is a lot about copy paste. Um, And when I ideate, I will literally spend some time just going through the For You page, seeing what's trending. Is this something we could jump onto? You also have to keep yourself updated on like general trends such as Squid Game and stuff like that, and understand, could this be relevant for my brand? Could I trick it into being relevant? And then there's also TikTok's own culture, because TikTok has a lot of insider jokes, and you need to be on the platform every day to be on that beat and understand those insider jokes. But if you as a brand participate in those insider jokes, then you will also have like very great performance on your videos. So it's very much just about going through the For You page. If you see something that works, copy paste it basically. TikTok is about copy pasting, and you can always tag the original creator and give them credit, but there's no like no one is looking down at you for doing that. It's very normal. Another thing is the discover page. So there's this discover page where there's different hashtags. Some of them are trending hashtags, which is based on TikTok trends, and some of them are more local hashtags. So the local TikTok departments around in the world will go out and push specific hashtags each week. We actually, here in the Nordics, we get a newsletter each week where we can see what type of hashtags they're going to push out. So you can beneficially go out and use those hashtags because you know TikTok is going to push them out to more people. So that's also a way of gaining more views if you strategically try and use those hashtags. Yeah.
Okay. So let's say you are going to launch the Christmas campaigns for the brands you are working with. So, what is the most common objectives for this type of campaigns?
So you think about what metrics we look at in
Uh,
general?
yeah, you can add what metrics you can look at first.
Yeah, because like I think for most campaigns on TikTok, we very much look at views. Um, like how many views did this campaign get? And if you create a campaign on TikTok, you will often use a specific hashtag and a specific sound. And you can track views on these two metrics as well. So the goal is often to have people to create user generated content. When we go out and make campaigns, we don't only want it to be product focused and that people cannot join the the trend or the challenge. So we often try and create a challenge, promoting something specifically, but we also make sure that people, like the users, can actually jump on this challenge by creating their own content using our hashtag and our sound. And by doing that, again, you will have a lot of user generated content that drives traffic to your site. So that's like a very common objective. And then we will look at the views very much, like how many has used this sound and this specific hashtag. But of course, you can also use UTM links also to see how much converts. Um, and I guess in general, as I said, there's still few metrics to really see the, like you can see click through rate and everything like that, of course. But in general, if you're a retailer or something like that, you will also have to notice like the effect it has on the stores and stuff like that. And I know for some of our clients, people have actually gone down to the store and said, "Hey, we want that product from TikTok." So yeah, it does affect the whole buying circle.
Okay. You mentioned at the beginning about TikTok ads and how you get a low CPM when it comes to specific region. Um, when brands should start investing in TikTok ads?
I mean, if it's possible for them right away, I would do it, because right now it's not going to get any cheaper. And we do see great results when it. So there's like two different types of ads right now that's relevant for the broad. And there's in-feed ads. So you can actually not have a TikTok account, but be an advertiser on the platform. And then the ads will appear in the feed like it would on Instagram or Facebook. And that's, of course, a way to test out the platform if you don't want to commit fully to having an organic profile. The other option is having an organic profile where you post content. And we on TikTok, we also work with something called Spark Ads. So that's like boosting a post on Facebook. And that's something we've been using a lot, because it gives you the opportunity to actually see if the post organically will gain a lot of reach. And if we see some of the posts gaining 100,000 views, then we know, okay, people probably like this post. Then we will go in and put some more money behind it so it can reach 1 million views. So that's like a strategy we've been working a lot with, rather than just doing in-feed ads, because then you, of course, have to split test and put money directly into it without knowing whether it's going to perform or not. Another important thing with ads is to make it native for TikTok, because I still see a lot of brands who uses the ads they have for other platforms and throw them into TikTok, but it's not going to perform as well, because when people scroll down the For You page, they will quickly notice when it's a very commercial ad, and they're just going to scroll past it. So it has to blend in with the native feed, and you do that by creating TikTok content. So I would say no matter what, you have to create content specifically for the platform if you want to be successful with your TikTok ads.
Yeah, and I think this applies to all platforms, because you have different audiences on Instagram compared with the audience that you get for LinkedIn, for example. So my last question is, what to expect in TikTok for future?
Yeah, so it's a bit different again from region to region. First thing is, in China, they have the Chinese app called Douyin. So the international app is TikTok. And you can always look at the Chinese app if you want to see what's going to happen with TikTok, because TikTok is always like one step behind. The US users also have some more opportunities than we do here in Europe, at least. They have some features already now that we don't have access to. So if you're in Europe now, you will gain access to a shopping feature, which will be launched very soon, where you can shop directly on the posts, where links will be added, and there's going to be Shopify and everything. So that's also very nice for businesses to have that opportunity. There's also going to be set up something called Creator Marketplace, which is also in the US. So it's going to be very easy to search and find influencers. And influencers on TikTok is much more or much less expensive right now, at least here in Europe, than they are on other platforms. So it's also a great way to interact and use them and test that out. And then I think also content will perhaps change a bit. I mean, TikTok right now is testing out a 5-minute format. Right now, videos can be up to 3 minutes long. But having in mind that they see themselves as more of like a streaming television platform, you can maybe also expect that it will be some different longer format content, because right now the videos are mostly 15 to 20 seconds, right? So maybe more like YouTube, but still not YouTube with a search bar and everything. You will still be fed all the content that matches your interests and everything. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of like the future prospects.
I think that creating basically a shop integrated in TikTok will be a huge shift for
Yeah,
many brands, because more and more industries and specific brands from specific industry will want to be present in this on this platform.
definitely.
So we have another questions here from Anton. In the content for your customers, do you use call to actions, or is content alone enough?
I use call to actions in almost all posts. And you don't necessarily have to do it in the video, but you can do it in the caption. And that's because people will comment on it, and it's an easy way to give comments, and then you will get engagement, and more people will watch your content. So it like TikTok captions are so simple. It's basically just something like raise a hand if you agree, or are you either this or that, tag a friend. Very simple, doesn't have to be very long, but it works. So always do call to actions in some way.
Great, great. I know that we didn't cover everything. We didn't discuss about influencers and I think about TikTok campaigns and the I know in the results that you can get from a campaign you are running on TikTok with influencer, and not only. But I think it's enough for today. Maybe we can cover. Maybe we can discuss in another Teach Me session about how to work with influencers on TikTok.
Yeah. And
Uh,
people should feel free to text me on LinkedIn if they have any questions at all. That's fine.
yeah, yeah. I encourage you to follow Malin Holt on LinkedIn, because she's posting about TikTok and the results that they are getting from their campaigns. And also, he hosts. They have the Capco, the agency, host have a podcast where they discuss about TikTok, and not only about social media in general. I have to mention that Capco is one of our clients. They are not. They are using Social Insider for social media reporting and competitors analysis. And yes, if you want, you can use Social Insider to get TikTok metrics and to see how and to measure and track your competitors' actions on TikTok. So yeah, thank you so much, Malin, for today. Thank you for your input and for your insights. We have another question. Do you see niche that are still to be filled on TikTok?
That is still to be what? Sorry.
Uh, if you see, I think if you see some specific niche that has that that can be filled with content, I guess, or maybe.
I still like for TikTok, you can be very creative and basically find your own way. So it's difficult to say what specific niches, because I mean, people are creating a lot of different type of content, and when they see something very specific that works for them, then they create more of that. And sometimes it's so specific you can't even call it a niche anymore. But if you have to think about brands, I still see very few that's more B2B heavy or more educational. And it works on TikTok. I mean, in the US, we still see lawyers and doctors go out on TikTok and explain stuff. So everything doesn't have to be humor and fun all the time. It can also be more serious topics. And I think that's also a direction that TikTok is going in. Um, so I also think that's like some great niches to tap into as a company. Yeah.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for being with us today. And thanks everyone for
Yeah.
watching us. See
Thank
you
you for
next
having
month.
me.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.